What's up, guys? It is what I refer to as the dawn of a new day over here for me on RuneScape. Um, God this year, or sometime around actually last year, pretty much precisely 1 year ago today, God blessed me with this YouTube channel that actually gets views. I've been around YouTube for many, like probably about 15 years now, more than 15 years, almost 20 years. And I finally got a YouTube channel that generates views. So, what that means for me is now I have this duty and obligation to actually make videos for this channel. Like, I never thought that achieving YouTube success would uh, be like a hindrance on my life, but unfortunately, basically the success happened. Ooh, I need those planks. There we go. The success, the YouTube success basically happened um, on terms that on a gaming channel. You know, I like the secret to my YouTube success, or if you want to call it like success, I have 128 subscribers. I've gotten however many views this month. Let's see, um, YouTube Studio. I've gotten probably a few thousand views this month. However many couple thousand views is not a whole lot. 2.1k views this month, and I got a new subscriber today too. So, um, basically, you know, it's the dawn of a new day because now I have this career that I've had going on now for almost 12 years, about 11 and a half years. I've been an entrepreneur. Um, and YouTube was never exactly a move for me to make my primary money. Like, it'd be nice to make a couple bucks off of YouTube, but overall has never been like a thing where this is what I want to do for my like life. Um, and quite frankly, in YouTube, we've seen them come and we've seen them go. A lot of the people that we know and love, that we used to know and love back in the day, YouTubers tend to come and go just as fast as like anything else on the internet. Um, and I just don't want to be one of those people. But I think I could make this YouTube channel basically work very well in the long term, especially if I'm constantly, pumping out content, actually playing the game of RuneScape. And, you know, the dawn of a new day. Now, what I want to do is I want to get 80 base stats on 2004scape while I work on maxing on old school RuneScape. So really, the dawn of a new day is more or less like the first thing I want to do now that the Make X option is released on 2004scape is I want to unlock the crafting, uh, like all of the crafting um, things, like anything you can craft is up to 84 crafting. They've got up to black dragonhide bodies, and level 80 crafting is amulets of glory. So this is going to be a very lucrative venture, but over relatively, like, perhaps not so like efficient. Um, Perhaps about as efficient as mining rune essence in terms of like XP per hour to like the GP per hour ratio. And really quickly, I want to figure out. So pretty much 3 million XP is about 200,000 200,000 um, bowstrings, which should take about 4 months of playing like very aggressively to get 84 crafting. And it's just kind of like I'm grateful that I have this channel, but if you ask me, it is always nice to just log off of RuneScape for like 6 months and not have to log back in for like, you know, 6 months or a couple years or whatever. I can just recall times in my 20s when I just had the opportunity, basically, the privilege kind of getting my life together aside from having like a YouTube channel to tend to. But since my life is pretty well together, you know, my life, is pretty well together, and I don't know why I went to the bank. I meant to go to the spinning wheel. But since my life is like pretty well together, I don't foresee my life making any drastic changes in a negative direction anytime soon. Um, is like kind of like the dawn of a new day. You know, if we do some math, if I pull up the calculator here, if I pull up the calculator, pretty much 200,000 bowstrings times, let's say if bowstrings are like 300 each, I'll make about 60 million GP from this little adventure here. And I can pretty much count on making like some anywhere between like 5,000 bowstrings a day if I play like 10 or 12 hours a day. So that's like 2 million GP a day. If I make 5,000 bowstrings a day, that's 60,000 XP a day, or 60. What's it called? 75,000 XP a day. 75,000 XP a day. Um, is 26 days. So pretty much, um, yeah, like 26 days for 84 crafting, which will enable me to do pretty much anything that crafting can do. That's the first thing that I want to do because it's going to make me so much, pretty much, goddamn money. And then, you know, over here on old school RuneScape, I'm actually about to hit 86 sailing. Why ever they added sailing in as a skill, I have no fucking idea. But all I know is I've got to make moves in my life to get my money right. And one thing is for sure is I know that if I open up my calculator, okay, I get 40 bucks a week, right? I'm pulling in only about $2,000 a year, based on my weekly allowance from my disability check. Um, so I have a business called Business in a Box, which is literally an all-in-one business care package to get people, there we go with 86 sailing, is an all-in-one business care package to teach people how to have their own business. I have scoured the earth for literally like since fucking I was 3 years old. So about 28 years I've been doing this business shit. Um, so that I can pretty much have some money in my life. And Business in a Box is a culmination of everything that I've ever uh, learned on how to develop, sell, and manage the sale of products. You know, it is literally like a fucking full blown like business encyclopedia of how to do business. Is rather $10,000. So if I make a couple sales like every year with Business in a Box, is like literally fucking 5xing the amount of money that I make in a year from my allowance from my disability check. And I don't want to spend my life just kind of like being, living off of 40 bucks a week, blah, blah, blah. You know, I really want to have more for myself. I want to have my own shit. I want to have my own house. I want to, you know, uh, I want to have my own house. I want to have like my own shit. And I'm set up perfectly well to have those nice things. But you know, it's just like I have like some pretty firm convictions against uh I have some pretty firm convictions against what I've got going on in my life right now. I laid a great foundation in my 20s so that I can have things in my life. I find that a lot of the entrepreneurs that I come across that have been successful, that are successful, most of these guys are like not in their 20s, but they're in their 40s and 50s. And like, seems like most of these guys who become like super successful, they don't really hit the big time until like their 40s. You know, um, I mean, for me, it's hard enough just like staying out of jail, staying out of prison. That's how I honestly see life. Is like it's hard enough just staying out of trouble, staying off of drugs. Staying productive is not my fucking problem. My problem is like the other like negative downsides to life is just like sick of being broke, sick of fucking digging through the trash to get my like meals. You know, I have food and everything. It's just I'm not gonna eat fucking ramen noodles for my food. Like every time I need to eat, I'm not gonna be eating like ramen noodles every fucking meal. I'm sick of like not being able to have a job. Is like due to the nature of my medication. Even if I could, which when I'm medicated, I can work a job, but my medication sedates me. So I sleep like 14 hours a fucking day. And there's no like waking up early for me. Like I'm even like very like sedated and tired throughout the day. So you could only imagine that when I finally do wake up in the morning, I have to get a full night's sleep every single night. And yeah, it's just like my life is like fucked up and I'm trying to fix that. What is this guy fucking botting? But it's the dawn of a new era. Like either like right now or like pretty soon I'm gonna be like after I max the account, the old school RuneScape account, I'm basically rushing to max the account, and then once I do finally max the account, I'm gonna be basically strictly working on my business for like till till I fucking make it in my career. And and my webcam has frozen on me. If you guys saw my video, um, if you guys saw the video that I posted earlier today, if you guys saw the video that I posted earlier today, I hit like a mini rock bottom the other day. Is my rock bottom was like I've been behind on bills, so they're charging me like late fees for my bills, which is not a flex. You know, they're charging me like late fees, and you know, just being behind on everything, being like a few $1,000s in debt is like not a flex. I just want to put this out there that I'm not going to be playing RuneScape all like religiously like that, but I will be playing simply for the simple fact of keeping up on the channel. is literally the only reason why I'm continuing to play for this period of my life. Um, Having money going out every month for or if I can come up on like $100, you know, to buy like a year of RuneScape membership, that would be just groovy, baby. Uh, but you know, you know, how much is a year of RuneScape membership? Like $120. It's like that's 3 weeks worth of money for me. So I'm going to build business in a box, the the website, so that I could actually have a way to collect payments for the product. And you know is like one sale of business in a box is going to get me out of debt, is going to afford me literally everything I need. And keep in mind, I've built successful businesses. My portfolio of businesses is worth about a few $1 billion right now, actually. But my last successful business was when I was 21. But really, in the business landscape, not entirely much has changed. You know, I'm gonna probably divulge about a dozen or to 2 dozen different types of businesses, physical products and digital products. Um, how to connect with suppliers, for manufacturers for your products, different types of manufacturers that I know of that I've used in the past. Um, I've built and scaled. I've built over a dozen businesses, and I've been successful in probably 3 or 4 businesses. Haven't really kept too much track, but it's like 3 or 4 businesses that I've been successful in. How to get um, hip to like reading books. You know, business in a box in general is like a kind of like all in one resource for having your own business. So, and it's $10,000. So, pretty much, if I've ever like inspired you to have your own business, or if I've ever come across to you as a very knowledgeable guy about business, which I think I am, you know, but they also say that idiots think they're brilliant and smart people think that they're stupid. So I don't know how much I believe that. Uh, I've always kind of thought that I was like pretty smart, and ever since I was a kid, I've been smart. I've always excelled in my academics, and you know, at least when I try to excel, I usually excel in whatever I do. So, I don't know, man. This video has gone on for 30 minutes. All to basically tell you that I'm going to be playing RuneScape. I've delegated anywhere between like 2 to 4 hours a day to play RuneScape, but also keep in mind that I've got like pretty much priorities in my life. More or less. Probably just going to be like AFKing on RuneScape while I work on my business. And, for the next uh, probably like 4 months or so, I'm going to be doing 84 crafting on 2004scape. However long it really takes, if I realize like if I play like, you know, 2 to 4 hours, about, anywhere from like 2 to 4 hours a day, it would take about 4 months to get that, to cash out for like 60 mil or whatever. Um, the homie, Neck Lost I haven't seen him log in fucking months. I'm friends with everybody on this game. That's what I love about 2004scape is the community is very vibrant and alive and not like full of assholes. Like a lot of people on old school RuneScape are just fucking assholes. Is like not like genuine RuneScape players playing old school RuneScape. You gotta have like a heart for the old game to play like 2004scape. Old school RuneScape is like, you know, there's probably a lot of people playing old school RuneScape that didn't really play back in the day. But yeah, so starting, I have a goal. I'm gonna set a goal. I have to go over my finances. I have to go over all my finances and plan out my schedule of how I'm going to be spending my money. And if you would like to buy Business in a Box, uh, um, pretty much now is not the time. But at some point, like in the future, If you would like to buy Business in a Box, I will have the website in the link in the description of the videos. Business in a Box is an all-in-one care package to start and have your own business. And this is coming from someone who's built and scaled 3 or 4 businesses and has generated more than $100 million, and quite frankly, more than $1 billion in net worth. If coming up with something very big is your thing, is the next big $1 billion brand, if you want to try to do that, I have knowledge and experience in doing that. If you want to play the humble game and go with like a small, like mom and pop style like business, I'll teach you how to do that. If you want to go digital, I'll teach you how to do that. If you want to sell physical products, I'll teach you how to do that. Um, right now, me personally, I got to take a leak, and I'll be back at you guys another day. Uh, Pretty much, I'll be back with a video whenever I've got something to talk about. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.